Welcome. My name is Domingo F. Vargas. I'm the former mayor of the city of Blue Island. I want to welcome all of you to Blue Island, to the island. And again, we're here to celebrate and to make a major announcement. And the announcement is the following. Today, I, as well as all of us here, am announcing my endorsement for Karin Norington-Reaves for Congress. So let's hear it. And so you know, she has been boots on the ground doing the hard work to connect more than 100,000 job seekers with good paying and with union jobs. So let's hear that. Yay! Not only that, she's worked for more than 2,000 employers to create these jobs and to pay better wages to their workers. Again, that's a big plus, and we want to thank you. Yes. She knows how to create economic opportunity, to create systemic change, to break the cycle of poverty, and to give people the main thing, hope.
Yes.
She knows that also the best way to reduce crime, and we know this is going around, idle hands are desperate ones, and that's what drives people to the streets and forces people into criminal activity. And we know she's going to assist us to break that cycle. And again, as a former mayor of Blue Island, as a citizen of this area, I'm urging all of you to vote for Karin Norington-Reaves for Congress for the 1st District. And again, let's hear it. Big round for Karin. Karin. And now, I have the honor and the privilege, and he's flown from one island and arrived to another island, Blue Island. I want to welcome and congratulate him for showing up. Congressman Luis Gutierrez, my pleasure.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, first of all, I want to say how delightful it is to see so many friends and so many fighters. I mean, in the, What do you think?
Boricua mexicano, luchando mano a mano.
Boricua
mexicano, luchando mano a mano.
Boricua.
For Karin.
Yes, we're here for Karin. But I wanted to, first of all, Emma, just to say how lucky you are, Karin. How fortunate, seriously, you are. Not because I'm here, but look at all of these soldiers, these women and men who I know for decades have dedicated and committed their lives, right, for a more prosperous nation for all of us. And we're all here today because we believe that you, right, are going to carry that torch to the Congress of the United States. That's why we're here.
Yes.
We're here to support you and to fight for you, right, and to get people out to the polls for you, because you represent the very best among us. And we want you to continue. Yes, I'm here to say I endorse you. I support you. I will do whatever it is I can to make sure that you win that Democratic primary, and in November, you win the general election and are sent on to the Congress of the United States. And I just want to take a moment, Karin, to say that there were a lot of obstacles today to me getting here. I mean, just the GPS didn't work. Things just, they didn't work. But you know, I said to myself, wow, I can't let those things stop me from being here. I just want to say to everybody, because I think since we're having a special moment together, I was born in 1953 in the city of Chicago, when separate but equal was the law of the land. When Jim Crow reigned in my neighborhood. As a young Latino boy, my opportunities and my possibilities were limited by the law of the nation. And then magnificent, beautiful women and men gave their lives, and in some instances, the lives of their children, so that we could pass a Voting Rights Act. So that we could pass a Voting Rights Act, a Civil Rights Act. And you know what that Voting Rights Act gave me? That little Latino boy, right? It gave me the possibility to one day be a member of Congress. In the absence of the Voting Rights Act, the 4th Congressional District would never have been created. The powers that be wouldn't have got together one day in 1991 after the census and said, oh, why don't we just give them a chance? No. We took the Voting Rights Act, a Voting Rights Act that women and men gave their lives for, so that one day I would have a voice in the Congress of the United States. We stand on the shoulders of those women and men that gave up their lives. So, Karin, nothing was going to stop me, because guess what? Nothing stopped them until they achieved that goal. Have we stopped fighting? No. Is it ended? No. It's a continuation. So when I look at you, Karin, I see the embodiment of that spirit. You know, I was so lucky, many of us in this room, to have met Harold Washington. Harold Washington actually changed the law, the Voting Rights Act. He changed it so we didn't have to prove malice. We didn't have to prove that they sat down and they conspired. We didn't have to take video. We just had to show the effect. Harold changed the law. And you remember when Mexican-American Legal Defense Fund in 1984 sued the city of Chicago? And they walked up to the mayor, our magnificent mayor, Harold Washington, and they said, hey, mayor, by the way, you know, it's going to trial over at the federal courts. And you're the representative of the city of Chicago. And he had one simple word. He said, we're guilty. We're guilty. Wow. He empowered a community. He said to Latinos, you're not invisible anymore. And I'm not just going to make you the assistant to somebody's assistant. I'm going to put you in charge. And that's a huge difference, isn't it, Mayor?
Yes, it is.
You know about
yes.
that as mayor of Blue, as the former mayor of Blue Island. You know about that. You know about what real. So, Karin, you know, I'm here because, man, not a lot of people can run for Congress and say, I created 100,000 jobs, 100,000 good-paying jobs, 100,000 jobs with health care, with vacations, with a pension, where you could work hard, sweat and toil, and know that one day, right, you could also enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's what you've done, and that's what you embody for all of us. The mayor said it so eloquently, right? How are we going to fight? You know how do you fight crime? You fight crime by making sure that everybody has hope, and making sure that everybody has an education, and making sure that they can take that education and they can be put to work with their God-given skills. Yes, that is important. And so that is what you have done. You have given people hope. I can not imagine, I'm sure you've met them, that woman showing up at home to her husband and saying, hey, hon, I'm making $35 an hour. Wow, how transformative that must have been. The husband showing up and saying, honey, I got a job that we can buy a house with, that we can sustain our family. That's what you have done. So I have my prepared remarks, but once I saw you, y qué bella, habla español también como nosotros. ¿Ah?
Yes.
She's an educator too.
Yes.
And who did she commit that education process to? To young Latinos and Latinas.
Yes.
Gracias. Thank you. She dedicated to our children so that one day they could too be everything that they are today. So I am so humbled to be here with such a magnificent group of warriors, right, Mayor?
Yes.
These are like
Oh, yes.
warriors.
Yes.
These are fighters, right, that are here. And Emma, válgame Dios. Emma knows that Reverend Slim told me how to use a post sheet. And I'm gonna end with that because, you know, somebody's gonna step in, right? As Congressman Bobby Rush steps out.
That's right.
And I know my buddy Bobby for a long time, right? He's my friend. He's my friend, and he's my colleague in the Congress of the United States. He was my colleague in the Congress for 26 years. We went to Chiapas together. That's right. I don't know how many of you remember. We traveled to Chiapas together with Congressman Rush. But we have to understand that our nation is at a crossroads once again. We're in a crisis. We're in a crisis right now. Democracy is under attack. All of those things those women and men gave their lives for, they want to take them away. And we got to send Karin to go fight so that they don't take them away, but that they expand them to our people. That's why I'm here, because we need fighters like her. I remember I was on the sidelines. Karin, I was on the sidelines. Yeah, I used to have my six-pack of old style and play some dominoes on the weekends and watch Crazy Mork and Mindy once a week. And I went to work and I mowed my lawn and life was good. And I got married, I had a child, we bought a house. But I was separated from so much else. And then someone knocked on my door and they said, Mr. and Mrs. Gutierrez, would you put this poster up in your house? And it said Epton, before it's too late. They came to my house with that poster. First of all, the anger that I felt, that somebody would think that they could come to the Gutierrez home with a sign like that. How little they knew. But I was on the sidelines. Karin, I was on the sidelines. I wasn't on the sidelines anymore. And I know some of you might think how fitting this story is because Emma's here. But I remember I left. I found the Harold Washington office on Western and Fullerton. And who was there? Your dad was there. Tall, I had never met him before. He gave me a post sheet, said, this is where you live. You live in the 2nd precinct of the 32nd Ward. And the precinct captain scoffed at me. The machine precinct captains, they thought. But we put together an army, the same kind of army you have here today. And guess what, Karin? We won. We changed. We won. We brought people together. And just like Latinos made a difference in Harold Washington's campaign, we're going to make a difference in your campaign to make sure that you cross that finish line. So that's why I came out here. I am so overjoyed to see so many of you here and to say, you know, I love you all. Please, Congresswoman, future Congresswoman, have me back. Thank you for running. This is tough, especially today. It's very, very tough. Thank you for running. We need women like you as our standard bearers of our community. Porque tú hablas nuestro idioma, pero más importante que hablar nuestro idioma, tú nos ves a nosotros como familia. Tú nos ves a nosotros como hermanas y hermanos. Y eso es más importante que hablar nuestro idioma, ¿verdad? Porque tú nos ves como familia. Te deseamos toda la suerte y te apoyamos muchísimo. No sé quién viene próximo a platicar. Emma. ¿Emma? Okay. Tanya? Okay. Bueno, my goddaughter. I've known her since birth. And she is an incredible warrior, incredible future. She represents, again, just the future. She represents the present, number one. And the best of us. And the best of today. But you know what? At 69, I know who we're going to pass it. Tanya, come on up, girl.
Woo, Tanya!
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and happy Cinco de Mayo. My name is Tanya Lozano. I'm the granddaughter of Guadalupe Lozano, the daughter of Reverend Slim Coleman and Emma Lozano, and the niece of Rudy Lozano. Today is a very special day. We of the Mexican community celebrate the Battle of Puebla for the independence of Mexico. We are proud to know our history so that we know who we are and can better defend ourselves in today's reality as citizens, residents, dreamers, and undocumented living in Chicago and Illinois. The defeat of Napoleon and his French army was important for all of us because Napoleon was planning to reinforce the Confederates during the Civil War with arms and soldiers. With that said, how perfect for me to be standing here today in support of Karin Norington-Reaves for Congresswoman of the 1st Congressional District. Our leader, Congressman Bobby Rush, has left a legacy and recently was successful in passing the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. Yes. Give it up one more time. That was... As he changes gears, we join him in supporting Karin to replace him in Congress. Yes. Karin is that leader, whether it's teaching native Spanish speakers in Compton, her activism in college as student government president demanding more Black professors, to her work combating intergenerational poverty and her support of a universal basic income. Karin understands our struggles with the fight for immigration reform, and we have full confidence in her because she has done the work and will stand up for all of us in Congress. So let's give it up for our sister and next Congressman of the 1st Congressional District.
I am overwhelmed, overjoyed, and grateful. Just grateful. I'm thankful for the support of you, Congressman Luis Gutierrez, a political icon and hero of my youth, for me to be able to touch and connect with the folks that I saw as leaders growing up. To connect with Congressman Rush was overwhelming. To connect with you as an extension of him and an extension of Harold Washington, and just for the good that you've done in your own right, I'm a happy woman. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank the Lozano family, Emma, Tanya, Sarita, Slim, Coleman. Thank you all for your support and for your belief in me and who I am and what I can offer to the people of the 1st District, all of the people of the 1st District. And thank you, Domingo Vargas, for your support, your enthusiastic support. Yes. And for helping to connect me to your Blue Island family. That's right. I truly, truly appreciate it. Individually and collectively, you all have done so much for your communities, and I'm grateful for your faith in me. I began learning Spanish at the age of 10. I was curious. I wanted to know what my friends' mothers were saying to them because it felt like they had a secret and I wanted in on it. And so I learned. And I learned, this is going to surprise you, I learned from Black women. My first Spanish teacher was Pamela Persons, God rest her soul. Miss Persons was Afro-Latina. She was of Panamanian descent. And from her, I saw what was possible for me. And then my next Spanish teacher in high school was Miss Tamara LaVille at Lincoln Park High School. She taught me that I was not strange because I wanted to learn about and celebrate other cultures. And so I studied and I practiced and I studied and I practiced, and eventually I obtained my degree in Spanish language and literature with a concentration in Italian and Portuguese from Northwestern University. As a teacher, I taught Spanish-speaking students to read and write in their native language by day, and by night I taught their parents English as a second language. I soon learned that my students could not have all of their needs met in the classroom. I was 22 years old the day I started teaching. I learned that there were significant barriers to their success, both in and out of the classroom. I shared this with some of you earlier. My families did work that nobody else wanted to do. They worked in balloon factories. They did the most hard jobs for very little reward. And they had beautiful, amazing families. And I loved them, and they loved me back. And I was rewarded every single day by their respect, their honor. And as you all know, as a Spanish custom, they would not say Ms. Norington. They called me maestra. No matter how much I wanted them to call me Ms. Norington, they would say maestra. And I'm like, please just call me by my name. But it was a sign of respect. And they respected the fact that I learned their language and that I loved their children. And I truly loved their children. And so I dedicated my life to breaking down the barriers that I saw there, that I saw for African Americans, that I saw for Hispanic Americans, that I saw for people who are different, right? And so I now dedicate myself to this campaign for Congress and to being a representative for all people, for everyone within the 1st District. If you have not felt heard, I'm here to say that I hear you.
All right.
If you have not felt seen, I need you to know that I see you. And I hope you see me as your friend, your sister, and your representative for the 1st Congressional District. So now, I have to say my comments in Spanish, do I not?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pues. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí
Okay.
se puede.
So
Yes,
listen.
we can.
Yes, we can. So listen, you all had a chant earlier. You said,
Boricua Mexicano.
Boricua
luchando
Mexicano luchando mano a mano. But I need to change that.
Okay.
Okay.
Afroamericano, Boricua, Mexicano, luchando mano a mano. Okay, I'm just saying. Don't leave us out. We are all in this together. All right. Pues lo que quiero decir es su apoyo significa mucho para mí. Individualmente y colectivamente, todos ustedes han hecho mucho por nuestras comunidades y estoy agradecido por su fe en mí. Empecé a aprender español a los 10 años. Tenía curiosidad. Quería saber lo que decían las madres de mis amigas. Parecía que tenían un secreto y yo quería saberlo. Y así que estudiaba y aprendía, estudiaba y aprendía. La primera persona que yo vi hablar español fue mi maestra Pamela Persons. Ella era afrolatina, era panameña. De ella yo comprendí lo que era posible para mí. Mi siguiente profesora de español también fue una mujer afroamericana, Tamara Laville. Ella me enseñó que yo no era extraña, porque quería aprender a celebrar diferentes culturas. Y así estudiaba y practicaba, y eventualmente obtuve mi título en lengua y literatura española con una concentración en italiano y portugués. Como maestra, enseñaba a mis estudiantes a hablar, leer y escribir en su idioma nativo durante el día. Y por la noche les enseñaba a sus padres cómo hablar inglés como idioma segundo. Pronto aprendí que las necesidades de mis alumnos y sus familiares no podían satisfacerse solo en nuestro salón de clase. Aprendí que había barreras significativas para su éxito dentro y fuera del salón de las clases. Entonces, dediqué mi vida a destrozar esas barreras y hacer cambios para toda la gente. Y ahora me dedico a esta campaña para el Congreso y a ser representante para toda la gente del 1er Distrito. Si usted no ha sentido escuchado, digo a usted que yo le escucho. Si usted no ha sentido visto, digo a usted que yo le veo. Y espero que me vea a mí y que me considere su amiga, su hermana, y que me confíe a ser su representante en el Congreso, su congresista.
You are.
Yes.
You are great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So so I thank you all. You know, a veces me pongo nerviosa cuando hablo español. Because it's not my first language, right? And I'm always afraid that I'm gonna, confuse something or say a wrong word and that people will be insulted. And instead, what people say to me is, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for bothering to learn, to connect with me in my language. So I want to thank you all for coming out here and connecting with me and supporting this campaign and supporting my fight to become the first woman to represent this district. The last thing I want to say is, Congressman Gutierrez, you know this was Harold Washington's seat. This was Harold Washington's seat. And so I take this very seriously. And I am humbled and honored to even be in a space where I can aspire to and prayerfully win a seat occupied by that great man who was my political hero as a child. So I thank you all for coming out today. Let's get out there. Let's win June 28th. Thank you.
Africana, boricua, mexicano, luchando mano a mano. Muy bonito.
Your Spanish is awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. Your Spanish is amazing. I was like, oh my goodness.
You were great. Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Awesome, girl.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Without an accent.
Yeah. I was like, you
Yes.
should be.
I don't sound like a gringo.
No.
No.
You're one of us.
You're one of us. You are one of us. Wow.
Yeah, that's what we gotta do. Yeah, let's get it out there.
Ya lo difícil se hizo, llegué.
Salga la gente a más
Claro que sí.